Thanks for joining, whether it's live or later on watching the recording. I'm really excited. Have you read this? And have you read the books that came before it? I'm telling you, Christina McDonald has been one of my favorite authors since she wrote her very first book, The Night Olivia Fell. And I've read every single book that she's written since. And we're going to talk about her books. We're going to talk about her female main characters. We're going to talk about her writing process, how she got published, all that usual stuff. And I'm really delighted that she agreed to join me because she lives abroad now, which I'm going to ask her about as well, and get into all the good stuff with her that I know you guys right now. I have to talk to her about her social media too because there she is. Hey.
Hi, how are you?
Good. That was amazingly flawless.
Technology worked. The gods were with us.
The gods were with us. Maybe Mercury left retrograde.
Yeah. Yeah. Something happened. Something went right. How are you?
I'm fabulous. How are you?
Good, good. It's really hot here. I'm in London, and when it gets hot, it's really humid. So I'm like,
Now,
yeah.
do people have air conditioning there?
No, never. Nobody has air conditioning. We did last year buy like one of those portable ones, so we have one in my loft space. But it's not on right now. I don't turn on unless it's really, really hot.
Now you live there, right?
Yeah, I live in London now. So from Seattle, moved to Ireland, met my hubby, and then we moved to London.
Oh, you went to Ireland first?
Yeah, I got my master's degree in journalism there at the university in Galway.
Oh,
So that's how I.
fun.
Yeah, it was great. It was a really great year abroad, and then I met my husband.
Now, is he Irish?
He's not, he's actually English, but they moved to Ireland when he was a kid. So he kind of grew up there and then always wanted to move back to the UK. So we gave it a go and we love it here.
Wonderful. Now, did you guys live in the United States first?
Yeah, so we did move back for about, I want to say 3 years. So my oldest son, he was born in Seattle. And we just decided to live there for a few years and then live in London for a few years. So when we moved back to London, we just ended up staying. We love it here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Seattle, London, they're both, I've been to Seattle, I have not been to London, but they're both rainy, right?
Yeah, very rainy. And Ireland is pretty rainy too.
Yeah. So you stayed out of the deserts, that's for sure.
I mean, and I love the sun. I love the sun. I love the blue skies. I'm not a rainy day girl. Like I like to read outside. I like to be outside. I like to go hiking. I am really active. And so you would think I would want to go to somewhere, California or somewhere a little bit less rainy, but no, I ended up here.
Okay, so tell me what you love about it. I'm always curious when people live in other places that I haven't been. I want to hear what's great about it.
So the great thing about London in particular is that even though it's a really big city, it's so green. Like you can go from Kensington Park to Hyde Park to, it just stretches for miles and miles and miles. So you will just never run out of green space, even though it is a very big city. And the education system is quite good. I think comparatively speaking to where my children would have been where we lived in Seattle, the education system is very good here. And so that was a, deciding factor. So, I mean, I don't know, I guess just the vibe of the people and, after work you go for drinks. Whereas in Seattle, I found that after work, everybody just drove home because it was quite a long commute. But we have the transportation network, which is so great here. And we can just, it's just more social and I love it.
Well, that's great. Now, how old are your kids?
So my oldest is 17. He's just finished high school.
Yeah, I saw the picture.
And my youngest is 12. So big gap.
Well, an interesting gap.
Yeah.
Because they have different interests and friends and all that good stuff.
Very, very different stages of their lives at the moment. My oldest, he has a girlfriend, and then my youngest is like, huh? Gross. Girls. Ew. So really different stages.
Yeah. It's funny because, my sister was 8 years older than me. So that was like that was like another mother.
Yeah.
Especially because my mother was 40 when she had me. So she got to be like, go play with your sister. I'm tired.
Yeah.
But then my sister had two boys. Now this is the fun part. They were born on the exact same day, but 6 years apart.
Oh, how fun.
It was fun, and we had joint birthday parties until they got to an age where they were like, I
They
don't
were
want
like,
to
no, no.
party.
Yeah.
And then she'd
That
be
is a
like,
big
I
age
don't
gap,
know, we got to
though.
have 2 parties this year. I'm like, well, you got 2 kids, that's fair, you know.
Mm.
So,
Yeah, that is a big age gap.
but it's interesting, you know, compared to people that have, you know, boom, boom, boom,
Yeah,
one kid, and you know, year 2 years later, you know, it's
yeah,
very different experiences for people.
completely. My sister had her kids like 2 years apart, all exactly 2 years apart. So, and she has girls, whereas she has girls and one boy, and I have boys. So, really, really different experiences.
Yeah. The only good thing for us was, well, not the only, but I mean, we had 4 boys, so we traded clothes back and
Mm.
forth.
Yeah, yeah,
And we never had to buy any pink or, you know,
yeah.
violet or whatever. So
Yeah, I
anyway,
have all the clothes. I like keep them for 5 years and then they come out of storage.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wore a lot of hand-me-downs too. So we're here to talk about books.
Yes.
And
All the lies we see.
I don't have a physical cover. They're all on my Kindle, but it's a great cover. I hope people can
Oh,
see that.
I have the
There you
other cover.
go.
I guess it's showing backwards and it's also up there.
It shows
I don't know how
backwards on
There you
Instagram. Yeah, there you go.
go.
Great cover on these books, all of them.
Thank you.
So let's go back. I'm going to give you the basic 20-question drill here.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Grew up in Seattle.
Yep.
You did come to California from time to time, though, you said.
Yeah, I did. We used to go in a motorhome called Grace down the coastline.
Yeah.
And we would just camp out, you know, just pull up in whatever spot on the side of the highway or
Love
whatever, like 𝐂𝐫𝐲, I think it was called, where you
it.
could get like a camp spot overnight. And if they had spaces, then we'd go all the way down to Pismo Beach. And yeah, it was really, really nice. You know, it seems like to me, before people would fly away to go for exotic holidays, we went to
Right.
California. That was where we went in the summer.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
we took my kids to Pismo Beach because I lived there for a while, and
Yeah.
then we go back all
Love
the time.
it.
We love it. Like my son and I did
So pretty.
during COVID. We just went and checked in because we had to get out of the house.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
got a suite, you know, in a hotel and just checked in and called like DoorDash.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
we worked out, you know, and my staff was like, wait, where are you? And I'd turn my camera around and go, look at the beach.
Yeah.
So then
Oh,
they
it's
started
just like
doing it.
dreams. I'd love to go back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because, you know, we could work anywhere as long as we worked. So the
Yeah.
state didn't care.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, Pismo Beach is one of my second favorite place after Maui.
So pretty.
Yeah.
What's the first? What's the number
Maui.
one favorite place? Maui.
Maui.
Oh, yeah. So pretty.
Yeah, that's like my second home. I go all the time.
Yeah.
But that's a plane ride.
Yeah, that's a little bit longer.
You could take a cruise ship, but it takes a few days.
Yeah.
Pismo, we just load up the car and off we go. But so did you go to study writing in college? Did you start out wanting to be a writer? Because you said you got a degree in journalism.
Yeah, so I did. I went to university to get my journalism degree. So I got my undergraduate at University of Washington.
Uh-huh.
And then and that was in journalism and political science. And then I wrote for the newspaper. I really wanted to be a journalist. And then, like right as I was graduating, September 11th happened like right after that. And there were no jobs. And I was like, what am I going to do? So I decided to travel and ended up traveling around Ireland and Italy and just the UK, just had an amazing time and decided to apply for, I heard while I was in Ireland, I heard that there was a really great master's degree program in journalism at the university in Galway. And I was like, interesting. So I applied and I got in. And the next year later, in September, I started university and got my master's degree.
Wow.
I just moved away just like that. Yeah.
And that's where you met the hubby.
And that's where I met my hubby. Yeah.
So did you ever then work as a journalist after you got that master's degree, or then was it?
Yeah. So yeah, before I got the master's degree, when I had the undergraduate degree, I did, and then also after I got the master's degree, I worked. I did my internship at the Sunday Times in Dublin, and then I worked for a few newspapers in Galway. When we moved over to London, though, I switched over to doing copywriting. So I was doing digital copywriting, but I've always kind of worked in writing and, you know, whether it was in journalism or as a copywriter, you know, for websites, or even when I was a kid, like I used to write stories for my sisters, just like whatever fairy tale came into my head from as young as I can remember, I would tell them stories. And then when I learned to write, then I would write the stories for them. So I've always kind of been a storyteller. And I think that was the thing, that I wanted to tell stories in journalism, but then I got to doing it and I was like, I actually like making stuff up better, but you're not allowed to do that in journalism.
Well, okay. Well, you're not supposed
You're not
to.
supposed to do that.
Times have changed, but we won't go there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we must have been a big reader too as a kid.
Yeah, I read everything. I mean, I remember it was like the best day of the week when my mom would take us to the library and I would check out stacks and stacks and stacks of books. And then it was kind of all I did, because when I was a kid, we didn't have screens, we didn't have mobile phones, we didn't have like the Switch or the Nintendo or what. We didn't do any of that. So I read, and that was all I did. One time I just got so immersed in it. And I remember one time reading before school. I was in 7th grade and I was sitting outside of the door reading, and the school must have started, like class started, because I looked up and everybody was gone. And then I looked in the classroom and school had been going for like an hour, and nobody even called me in. I was just sitting out there reading.
Well,
so yeah, it was a total bookworm.
I mean, really.
Yeah, way better than school. I loved it.
Now I have to ask, because did you have like a children's librarian either at school or at the local library who just really influenced you? Because my friends and I still talk about our children's librarian. We just adored her.
Yeah.
Did you have somebody like that?
I had a similar, so when I was about 12, and I wrote about this before, but when I was about 12, my house caught on fire. And so it burned down everything. So we lived in that motorhome called Grace for a winter. And it was, of course, one of the most freezing cold winters that you could find in Seattle, which used to be really quite mild. It was freezing. You could see your breath. It was so cold. And we lived in that for the winter. So obviously it was too cold to do our homework or do anything. So after school, my mom would take us to the local library. And so we would spend our evenings just reading books, like we do our homework, and then we would read whatever books. And so there were many, many librarians there who helped us throughout the years, but that particular winter. And they would, press different books in our hands, and, Babysitter Club and Sweet Valley High, all those. I think like every girl my age would have read that when they were about 12 to 16 even. Yeah. And I just read voraciously, because it was like it was a very scary time, I think, for me as a 12-year-old. And also my parents were going through a divorce. And so I just really, really hid away in books, and the librarians were like such a saving grace.
Well, shout out to librarians.
Yeah, absolutely. They are the heroes.
They really are. And like I said, I'm going to be, I can't say this, I choke every time I start to say it. I'm going to be 70. I mean, I can't believe it. Like the time goes so fast, and I don't know. I'm having a trauma about this, but I'm glad I'm here. And, even now, all those years later, because when I was, like, I don't know, 8, 9, 10, getting on my bike, going to the library.
Yeah.
I still can see her. I can still hear her charm bracelets clinking.
Yeah.
I mean, and the school librarian too. They have such an impact on people. So for anybody watching this,
they do.
Love your librarians, because
thank you.
Really
thank you.
Yeah. So now you were writing all these stories. When did the I'm going to write a novel hit?
So let's see, we had moved back to Seattle, and my son was very little. My firstborn son was really little. I guess it would have been like 2015 or 16 maybe. And I was saying to my brother-in-law was over, my brother-in-law, my sister, and I was saying to him about this crazy news story. And I was like, God, can you imagine writing that? I don't even remember what the news story was at this point, but I was like, and he goes, you should write that. Because he knew that I wrote little stories and poems, and had worked as a journalist. And he was like, you should write it. And I was like, no, I can't. And he was like, why not? And I was like, I don't know. Actually, maybe I could. And so then I started writing, and I did write that book, and it got an agent, but it didn't sell. And then I wrote more books, and then eventually got a new agent, and that book was The Night Olivia Fell. So yeah, I think he is the one that was like, well, why don't you write it? And I was like, oh, it just hadn't really occurred to me it had. Every, writer wants to write a book, but you don't really ever think it's going to be real, I don't think, because it is a hard journey to go on, and I know, like, yeah, it's just a difficult. So I wasn't sure I could ever make it, and then I wrote the book, and here I am, still writing.
Okay, so let's talk about the night Olivia fell, because that's when I discovered you. Because it
Yes,
seemed
yeah.
like that book all of a sudden was everywhere.
Yeah, it did pretty well.
Everybody was talking about it. Everybody was reading it. You just came shoom, right out of the gate. And you
Yeah.
started out with a big, juicy, emotional, oh my God kind of story.
Yeah.
I remember getting it going, who is this woman that she's this just briefly, the woman's daughter does not come home. She's, I think, wasn't she 17, Olivia?
Yeah.
And she does not come home one night. It's set up near Seattle.
Yeah.
In your home area.
My home area, yep.
And the story she's told is that she fell.
Yeah.
She's brain dead. And then they discover she's pregnant.
Yeah.
I mean,
so they can't turn off life support.
Big story.
Yeah.
What was the inspiration for that the first published book anyway?
Yeah. The Night Olivia Fell, the inspiration for that was, again, another news story. I think I'm really impacted because I spent a lot of time as a journalist. I'm impacted by news stories, and then I like spin them into real life. So it was the same with that. I read this story about this girl who went in for a tonsillectomy, just a regular, surgery. And I think she was 12 or 13 at the time. So a little bit younger than Olivia, and she went in for this surgery, and then whatever happened, she had a massive bleed on the brain, and so she became brain dead from this regular surgery. And I just thought, like, at that point, I'd had my new son, my youngest son, who was an infant. He was a newborn at that stage, and I was reading this story, and I was like, oh my God, can you imagine? Like, I was a new mom, and I had a new baby, and I was reading this story about this mom who'd lost her daughter at 13, and it broke my heart. And so then I started reading kind of obsessively about the story, and then I was like, what if I set this in Washington? And I remembered a while, like many years ago, there was talk about that law about keeping brain dead women on life support if they're pregnant. So I decided to look into that, and I found it had passed. And so I wove that into the story as well. Yeah. And then while I was writing the book, kind of near the end, my dad passed away. And so I think it wasn't like my dad had prostate cancer, so it wasn't unexpected, but it's still unexpected. You know what I mean? So I was really devastated, and I wasn't there when he passed away. He was in Wisconsin and I was in London. And so I think that writing that I shouldn't give any spoilers, but I think that writing that big emotional scene that happens there, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, that came from that catharsis of saying goodbye in my own way and saying, I love you, thank you for everything. You know what I mean? So I think I really pull into my stories, my life, my real life. So a lot of stuff, I am always going to be that girl who feels things very deeply, and I pour that into my books.
All right, well, for anybody who hasn't read it, go get The Night Olivia Fell, because I'm telling you, that is what hooked me. And I said, okay, whatever she reads, bring it. I want to read it. I want more. So then you did Behind Every Lie.
So then I did Behind Every Lie, and then Do No Harm, and then I started in on the Jess Lambert series, and 3 books later, now we're at All the Lies We See.
And every one of your books, you've got a female main character.
Yeah, I mean, Do No Harm, I also had a male main character, but he was third person POV, so a little bit more removed. But in general, I do tend to write more and probably deeper from a female point of view. I don't know why that is. I keep thinking I want to write from a male's point of view, but then I'm like, well, will that be very authentic? I don't know. So I just haven't felt that character call out to me just yet.
Well, but you put these women in situations that are so challenging. But just like huge life challenges. Yeah. So, in Behind Every Lie, she doesn't remember. She's struck by lightning. Yeah. Trying to solve a murder. Yeah. And First Do No Harm was very timely. Again, you had another kind of a ripped from the headlines story involving opioids. Yes, the opioid epidemic. Right. And how, yeah. So I guess I do tend to really delve into these like very timely, very big issues that I think about a lot, and maybe I don't
talk about enough, and so then I want to write about them.
Well, I think that's what makes the book so good, because we're reading about opioids and hearing it on the news, and now it's in the book, and it's from a, from a very, what's the word, distinct perspective, right, of
Yes,
somebody
yeah,
involved in this crisis.
yeah,
I won't give too much away. But, you get into the heart of these characters and
yeah.
you go on this ride with them, which is what makes the book so good. Because what would and like I think I've said it a few times in reviews, you're asking people to think, what would I do?
What would I do? And I mean, that's what I think when I read a book, and that's the thing that impacts me is the character, first of all. Like, I don't have to like them, but I have to
Right.
understand their motivation and why they're doing this thing and why they're going on this journey. And then I also really want to have them explore those big meaty issues. So with Do No Harm, my brother, and I said this in the book as well, like my brother was addicted to opioids for many years, and so I have personally been through that up and down, and that is why I wrote the story the way I did, and why the ending happens the way that I did. I wrote it in order to make that hit harder, because I feel like it was a really and is still a really terrible time in many people's lives.
Oh,
The
yeah.
whole opioid epidemic. Yeah.
So,
And so
yeah.
I think I just explore that, and a lot of authors do that. We explore these things through fiction.
Right. But they don't always do it as effectively as you do it,
Thank you.
to be fair. Okay. So then you come out with these Still Black Waters.
Yes.
And I'm reading along and I'm expecting, a Christina McDonald book. And all of a sudden I go, what? Wait a minute. And I'm not going to spoil it, but there is a moment when I literally went, what? And then I had to go back like 4 or 5 pages and go, did I read that? Oh, you sneaky little bugger, you. All right. So you really got me. Now tell people, what was the inspiration for that one?
Oh man, so These Still Black Waters was such a tough book because I had just found out that a previous book hadn't sold, and I was just kind of feeling really down and blue, and I was like, oh, can I even write another book? I didn't think I could. I had lost all confidence, and I was just feeling really down about my writing and about where my career was heading, but I was like, I have to write. Like, I can't not write. So I actually sat down at my computer and opened it up and closed my eyes and just started writing. And it was just like words that became scenes and scenes that became chapters. And I had no idea what I was writing or what I was doing. It was purely just, it wasn't even from my heart. It was like from my subconscious. I didn't even know where it came from. It was just like coming out. And remember, we were on lockdown at the time that I wrote These Still Black Waters. And so I think it was that sense of like that isolation that we all felt of like being in these crazy alone bubbles. And that sense came on over me and came out into this book. And eventually I got to about 50%. And the main big twist came to me. And I was like, oh my God, I've got it. And then I started over. I rewrote the book.
Oh, you
Because
did?
then I had it. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
So that,
totally.
yeah.
I was just like, what? Okay, so that brings up an interesting point. Are you normally a plotter, or are you a pantser, or are you in the middle?
I'm mostly a pantser. I always have, except for These Still Black Waters, I always have like a one-line kind of inciting incident. Like, what is the book about? I don't always know the end. Sometimes I do, but I always know what it's going to be about. And then I just go from there. And then I kind of have, so all stories have a general arc that they go through. And so, right around 10% is what's called the inciting incident. And then the 25% is the 20, the first plot mark. Then there's the midpoint. So there's these like basic levels that you get to. And so as I'm writing, I just try to keep in my mind where that is going to happen, so I know where I'm writing to, but I don't know what is going to happen at that point. So I just know really kind of what the story is going to be about.
Well, and the thing about These Still Black Waters is it's atmospheric in a different way than your other books. It's kind of gloomy.
Yeah, it's more psychological. Yeah.
And kind of almost not really, well, sort of kind of gothic. But
yeah,
the thing that for me was shocking was I thought that somebody else was the main character.
Oh.
And all of a sudden I realized, No, Jess Lambert is really, she's the star of this book ultimately, but you had me going for so long. I was like,
Yeah.
what is going on? I couldn't stop reading. So tell folks about Jess Lambert, because now she's in her, well, really her three and a half books, because you got the
3.5
novella.
books. Yeah. Yeah.
Tell
So when I
folks who
first
she is.
Yeah, so when I first started writing these Still Black Waters, the other character, Neve Campbell, was the main character. Jess played a very minimal role in the book whatsoever. She was the third person point of view, outside, really just to put some pressure on Neve because she was a detective and she was investigating. So, but then when I finished it and I turned it into my editor, she was like, I really like Jess Lambert. She is awesome. Would you consider making her a co-main character and rewrite the book with her first person, like just dig into her and make it a series? And I was like, oh, that's new. So that was from my editor. So then I was like, yeah, let's do it. So I rewrote the book again a third time with Jess Lambert more as like the main character, and I really delved into her background, her trauma, which I won't give away because it's maybe some spoilers, but her background and everything that she's been through, and this physical disability that she now has because of a car accident that she's been in, and just who she is as a person. And I really delved into that and how broken she had been and how strong she was becoming, and just got to know her. And then obviously that progressed through the 3 books, and she's the most like badass cool character I've written. I really like her.
She is. So then you had oh God, I'm blanking now. See, this is
What Lies in Darkness.
That's it. Thank you. This, it's names that I don't remember sometimes. So what?
Yeah, no, I'm the same.
Then she has a different mystery to solve.
Yeah, a different case, but it still ties into her.
Yeah, and you still keep developing her.
Yeah.
There's a novella where we go back and we first learn.
Yeah, we go back in time, where she came from, where her past is, and her whole story with her husband Mac, and how they met, and then investigating how she got into investigating.
Right. And then we come to dun da da. Now this, first of all, who came up with this title, because it's great.
Oh, that was me. Yes, I love that. I love the title.
That is a title that grabs.
And I almost didn't use it, because well, like What Lies in Darkness has lies, and then also Behind Every Lie. And I was like, can I do it again?
Yes. But the thing is, it grabs you because you go all the lies, and then it's we see. What?
Yeah. But do you see them?
Okay, so this book, I'm telling you, this is brilliant. And
thank you.
It's so contemporary.
Yeah, I didn't even mean for it to be as contemporary as it is.
Who
would have guessed?
I mean, okay, because what is in the news all the time? AI.
Yeah.
All these fights about the data centers.
Yeah.
Kevin O'Leary wants to take over Utah. And I heard this thing he wants to build was it 72 football fields?
Oh man, I heard somebody wanted to put them into houses. Like everybody has to have a house with like a small. I was like, what?
I didn't hear that part, but I heard he's trying to get all this beautiful land in Utah, and I thought they said it was going to be the size of 72 baseball fields for a data center with all this AI technology, and then it needs all this water and resources, and there's a big fight going on. I just looked at the news and went, oh my God, I just can't believe what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Anyway, so everybody's talking about AI. And there are a lot of books coming out about it, but you've taken a really creative approach to it.
Thank you.
So tell folks what happens to poor Jess.
Okay, so this is about Jess Lambert, and she wakes up to a viral video of her committing a crime that she didn't actually commit. And so she has to use an old cold case that she was previously investigating in order to try to hunt down the person who is responsible for trying to, frame her in order for her to survive. And so, of course, her colleagues, the detectives at the police department, they have to investigate her. And so instead of staying and waiting, she goes on the run in order to investigate it herself. and she has, you know, all of these allies who are helping her. Her husband Mac, I brought him in more, and her dad, I brought him in as well. And just her friends that have been detectives, you know, with her for a long time. I bring them all in, so she's got this really amazing cast of people who are helping her try to figure out like what has happened. This looks real, but we know that Jess couldn't do this. So what is going on?
Yeah, and it's interesting because you explore this idea of people who know her so well. But this and there's more than one video, but they're so convincing.
Yeah, and you know, they can be. And the reason why I wrote the story, why I even came up with the idea, is because something very similar happened in real life. You know, a number of years ago, or just a few years ago, in fact, there was this news article I read on the BBC about this principal from Baltimore, and he had been framed by a disgruntled teacher who he worked with, who was angry about a performance review or something along those lines. And so the angry teacher created and used AI to create a deepfake audio recording of the principal making really horrible, racist, terrible remarks. And then he sent it out to the media, and the whole town, everybody believed it. So, you know, the principal lost his job for a bit, and he had to go on the run because there were death threats. And I was like, oh, what? This is from something that, first of all, they didn't even see it in that case. Like, so I just kind of went, just my imagination went crazy, and I thought, I want to see what would happen if I explore this a bit more, and I want to place a story in this world.
Right. Did you have to do a lot of research? Because do you have technical details in this book about how they might go about figuring this out?
I did. Yeah.
That was fascinating, and I thought she must have had to research all this.
Yeah, I did, because I didn't know about like the RAT, which is a random access. I can't remember exactly what it stands for, but it's basically like a Trojan horse that goes into. You can click on something and it goes onto your phone, like, and it can get all of this information from your phone. So your audio recordings, your pictures, your videos, and all you have to do is just feed that stuff into AI, all of your personal information, and exactly like what Meta was trying to do this last week is like, you have all that information about a person and you can create a video of them doing anything, and it will look like they did this thing. It will sound like them. And how do you know what the truth is? You know, you have to really, even if you know somebody, if you see a video of them doing something, you're going to question them, you know?
Right.
So I wanted to explore that, and yeah, I had to do a lot of research about the technical information, because I'm not a computer scientist in any way, but yeah.
So everything that you put in your book with regard to the technology is accurate as far as your research shows?
It is accurate. Yeah, I researched it.
I wondered, because some authors just make it up.
Yeah, so, and I also know that this can happen because my sister recently had the exact same thing happen. She clicked on a link and they got access to everything in her phone. Yeah. So then, of course, like, what do? You have to turn off your phone. You have to, so I had to look into all of that, and it's horrifying.
It is horrifying. Well, that's what I have, like, all these various companies, you know, like the one that scares me, that title lock thing where they have those infomercials. I don't know if they have them over there, that somebody was able to go take a mortgage out on your house and you don't know about it. And the next thing you know, you start getting, you know, debt collectors calling you and foreclosure notices.
That's scary.
Because somebody managed to use your home, you know. Now, in California, I know for a fact that if you make any changes to the title on your house, the district attorney sends you a letter because they monitor it. But, you know, I don't know that every state does that. And it horrified me when I started seeing these, and I had to find out because, you know, I have another house. It has no mortgage. You know, obviously, if you're living in a house that already has a mortgage, your mortgage company, the senior lien holder is going to go, wait a minute, there's going to be a junior. I mean, you know, there's going to be something going on there with credit and whatever. But if you have a house and there's no mortgage, so who's paying attention every month? Nobody. You know, it's really scary. I mean, I had this nightmare that, you know, my parents' home all of a sudden was, You know, that's the house I grew up in that my son lives in it now. So
Yeah,
anyway, so there's
yeah.
all these horrible things that can happen with
Yeah,
hackers.
yeah, loads of
And
scams. And I think, most people have been targeted in some form or another. And a lot of them come from AI that are just generating these scams. I mean, only about a month, maybe 6 weeks ago, I was contacted randomly by an author, and he was like, "Hey, have you been emailing me about all this information?" And I was like, "No, I don't even know you. What are you talking about?" And then he forwarded me all these emails from me, but just with like a different email address. And
Yep.
it was like talking to him about what a great author he is and how great his writing is and so much emotion in his writing, and and then leading up to trying to get him to pay money for some marketing advice. And I was like, that is not me. Like, block and report.
Right, exactly.
So I mean, again, this was like right before this book came out, and this was like an AI bot just using my information to email authors. So there are so many just negative things coming out from from AI.
So your book is not only fast-paced, and it's not only an interesting mystery, but it's really, really a cautionary tale too for people. Like,
For
be
sure.
vigilant, and you've got that message coming through yet again about dangers of these technologies, which again, I think that's what elevates books, when you have something that's contemporary and it's more than just, oh, it was a nice story, thank you. I mean, there's a point to it, and your books always have a point. So
thank you.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are you working on now? Is there another book? Is it going to be more Jess Lambert? Please, please, please.
So at the end of All the Lies We See, whenever I write a book, I usually, by the time I get towards the end, I always know very firmly what the ending is going to be. But for this book, I didn't actually know. I had two endings in mind, and I didn't know which one to do. So I put one in, and then I saved the other one, so it's an alternate ending that people can get. And that alternate ending, when I wrote it, I didn't want to stop writing it. And so I kept writing, and I wrote another book. And I finished it. It's not a Jess Lambert book. It is actually a spin-off book from the point of view of Shane Townsend, which is Jess Lambert's partner. So it's a spin-off book of something he does that you find out at the end of All the Lies We See. And and I just kept writing. I just loved writing about this idea that I had of this story that I'm trying not to talk about because I don't want to tell too much. But so I kept writing, and I finished that book literally about 3 days before All the Lies We See published. So I don't have a title or anything. I've just finished writing it. It was just completely written on a whim because I enjoyed writing it, and so it was really fun. And we'll see what happens to it. We'll see, when it comes out. If it comes out, we will see all of that, to be determined.
Does Jess appear in the book?
She does not really appear. No, it's not a Jess Lambert book. It's a new book, still set in Black Lake, in the town of Black Lake. And it is like a mystery, it has a detective in it. But yeah, it's not a Jess Lambert book. It is a spin-off Jess Lambert book.
Well, Shane is a great character too, so that's fine with me.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. No, it was really fun to write. Yeah.
Good. All right. I'm going to look forward to that.
Yeah.
Now, I always talk to authors about another aspect of their work.
Okay.
And I'm telling you, I see you with these crazy videos. I know authors are expected to market themselves, and it's part of the deal these days, right? But you've got some of these videos that I just crack up, where you've got the other voice coming in over yours, or you're in your black outfit and you're creaking around. First of all, who's filming these, for you? Are your kids helping? And where are you coming up with these ideas? Like, I saw one on TikTok where you were, off to go look for a murderer, and I'm just dying. I thought they're so clever. But
thank you.
They have to involve, a lot of work.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
And who's the genius behind all this?
It's me.
Yay.
Authors do everything. We have to do everything. So I went off social media for about a year. Last year in May, I was just like completely burnt out. I was like, there is no point. I'm not getting any new followers. This is not fun anymore. My youngest son was very ill. And so we had about a year of him being really ill. And I was like, I just can't even put that in my head right now. So I just put it out of my head. And then I was writing this book, All the Lies We See, and I was thinking about it more and more. And I was like, all these books have started coming out that are AI generated. And it's horrifying. And then of course we've found out recently, like Barnes and Noble, for example, are going to start stocking AI generated books. And I think, this is going on long enough now where I kind of realized, okay, I can't control what Barnes and Noble or anybody else does. Like, I can't control any of that. The only thing I can control is me and what I do. And so I think now in today's world, in order to prove that I'm not a bot and that I am available, I have to be on social media. So that's why I went back, because I want to be accessible to my readers, and I want to have a relationship with them, because that is the difference between a bot, an AI bot, and a real live author, is that connection that you build and that engagement that you build. And so I decided to go back online, back to social media. But I thought, if I'm going to do it this time, I'm going to make it fun. I want to I'm only doing it for me, right? Like, so I have fun and then also engage with people. I'm not going to like put pressure on myself to try to get more followers or whatever. And so I'm just having fun with it. I'm just maybe being a little out there, I guess, just being silly. I'm just being silly. So I'm just trying to do like in my day when I have like a random thought, I have a notes app where I like, have a million ideas for reels and carousels and just funny things. And that's what I'm enjoying doing, is like just the funny bits, like digging into like things about me. Like I'm forgetting everything. And like I left a thing of lettuce in the chips cupboard the other day. And when I finally found it, it was very rotten. So I'm forgetting a lot of things these days. So I'm just trying to like lean into the things about me that might connect with my reader and show them that I am a real human. I really do write my books. I really want to interact and engage with my readers. And so I decided to come at it from that angle of like just being available and like, hi, let's talk about books.
Well, it's very effective. And like I said, they're really, really entertaining. And they just crack me up. I'm just like, what is she up to now? So, again, that's a way to find readers, because if they see an author who's kind of fun, it might bring some more folks on board with the books. So
because I can't stop AI generated books being sold. That I can't do that. But what I can do that is different than an AI bot or an AI generated book is I can be somebody that people can approach, and we can talk about books, and we can be like, I love emotional thrillers, or I love this, or let's talk about AI, or let's talk about the opioid epidemic, whatever that may be. That is what differentiates real authors from generated AI slop. And that's what I have to bring to the table, is like, I'm a real human, and that's the difference. So that's what I want to put forward, and that's why I came back onto social media. And I'm just, while I'm doing it, trying to also have fun and just be a bit silly, just make people laugh a little bit. And because my books are a little bit dark, so I kind of balance that with like some fun funny reels as well.
But are you engaging the family and having them help you film them, or are you like setting up a tripod and just doing your own thing?
I do both. So my husband, he came with me to the park to film me with my hoodie, and I'm like, and then my neighbor caught me coming back with my hoodie up, and it was like the hottest day of the year. I'm wearing a hoodie up to here, and she was like, "What are you doing, Christina?" And I was like, "Oh, hi. I'm not breaking into anybody's car."
That's funny. Oh God. Now you're with a different publisher.
When? Which one?
With this new book, isn't it with a different publisher?
So I self-published that.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh, tell me about that.
I've done everything myself. So because it's third in a series, I decided to do it myself, because what happens as an author is that you get more access to the back matter. And the back matter of a book is where at the end of the book I can say, hey, here's the alternate chapter. Here's the alternate chapter. And come and join my newsletter, and come and join my join me on social media. So I have access to that. So that's why I did that. So I have access to all of that. And it really just gives me a more direct link to my reader.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't realize because I saw the name of the publisher and I went, I don't recognize that name.
Yeah. No, it's my publishing company. Yeah. So the novella as well, and this book are both my publishing company so I do kind of like a mix of traditional and so hybrid author, I suppose. Yeah.
Now,
it's a lot of work, I have to say.
Yeah. I was going to say, because you're responsible then for everything.
Yeah, I mean, and there's a lot of money that you have to put in initially. Like there's the editing, and then there's the cover design, and there, marketing, all this. It's so many roles that you have to learn.
Yeah.
So then learning the social media aspect of it too, that was a whole other role. All of these jobs, like director of social media, director of marketing. Yeah, it's a big, there's a big learning curve, but I really enjoy being able to have that little bit more control over the back matter in order to get direct access to my readers, which you don't get as much in traditional. They provide access to bookstores and, of course, many phenomenal benefits, but this also provides some benefits too. And and it's been really great.
So are you in all the big bookstores though? Because you're on Amazon, right?
Yeah, so I'm on Amazon. It's been distributed by Ingram Spark, so Waterstones in the UK, and then Walmart, Target, Barnes and Noble. Okay. Yeah, the paperback is available in all those places.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Because that you want people to walk down the aisle and go, oh, when they stop in at the bookstore. So that's great. So it's out there everywhere.
Yeah. It's out there everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. Well, congratulations. Now, do you think you might publish other authors, or is this just for you?
Probably just for me. I don't know. There's so, as I was saying, like there's so many jobs involved in the self-publishing aspect. I'm not sure I could take on anybody else because I'm still learning as well. Yeah. So it's just about like growing my business because, I love writing, but it's also my business. It's my livelihood. It's how I pay my mortgage and pay my bills. So it's just a way to expand on my role and just get closer access, I think, to my readers.
Excellent. Well, bravo.
Yeah.
That takes a lot of courage to take a step.
Yeah.
To go out on your own like that and hope that you can pull it off and sell the books. Good for you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. It's been a lot of learning, but a really good experience. And I'm just really excited for people to read about Jess's story. And
I applaud any woman that does that, takes control, takes her own power into her hands.
Thank you.
Moves out into the world like that as a businesswoman, as an artist, whatever. I think that's great. So good for you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it did take me a little while to make that jump to go, okay, what am I going to do with this book? Am I going to send it out or am I going to, and I did, so I sold the audiobook rights. So the audiobook will be coming in due course. I don't know the date on that, but I've kept the other rights to myself and I'm just like trying to step up as CEO of Christina McDonald.
Good for you. I hope it's a smash.
Thank you.
I really do.
Thank you.
This deserves to be a bestseller.
Thank you.
Well, the whole Jess Lambert series, I mean, all your books are excellent and this whole series, but this one, I just really thought because of the themes, how fast-paced it moves, how empowered Jess has, and I really urge people, if they haven't read all of the books, I would really urge people, start with the novella, really, and get the backstory and then go through the books so that you really get that progression because, like you mentioned, Jess really does grow throughout the series.
Yeah, she really does. It's been such an honor, actually, writing her arc. Yeah. And I didn't know how to do a series before because I'd never written a series before. I'd only ever done standalones. So learning how to go from, the first book to the second book, but still making Jess compelling enough to get somebody to want to continue with her arc. And then to the third book, that's been a journey. And I feel like I've learned so much. Yeah.
Do you have beta readers? Like, is your husband the first one to read, or?
My husband, my husband's the first beta reader, and then I send it out to an editor here in the UK. Okay. So but I read it first, like multiple times before I ever let him read it.
Yeah. Well, I've heard authors talk about that. John Grisham talks all the time about his wife. I've seen interviews with him. Renee, I think her name's Renee, and he says,
Yeah.
if Renee doesn't like it, I know I'm in trouble because she's the first one
Oh.
that reads it. In fact, his last book, he said she didn't like the ending, and he ended up
Oh.
changing because she was the one that told him that
For
ending
her?
doesn't
Oh,
work.
wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
and well, I think he said his editor agreed too, but I would really like to hear what the original
What
ending
was the ending? Yeah. I'm
I didn't
curious.
like the ending he published. So it's like I want to
So
hear what
that's so
Renee
funny
didn't
because
like.
with all the lies we see, because I told you I have 2 endings on it, and I have asked different people. They're like, "Oh, I really like this ending. I really like that ending." So I'm always like, "Tell me which ending you liked," and I think it's a 50-50 split. So I'm actually not sure which one I should have put in there.
I'm not telling which one I like. I have a
No,
preference.
I want to know, but don't tell other people. But message me.
Yeah, okay. I'll tell you later.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're a publisher, you're an author, you're a wife,
Yeah.
you're a mom.
Yeah.
You got all these things going on. Do you have any time to read books?
I do read books. Yeah. Love reading.
When-
Still love
when
reading.
are you
But you know
doing
what? I read a lot less than I used to, I have to say, because I have been, oh, yeah, flat out lately. Very, very flat out with, yeah, like it's the end of the school year, which is always crazy with kids. And also my oldest is graduating, so a lot of stuff going on. Yeah, it's been very busy. But yeah, of course, I'm always reading every night before bed. It's the only way I can go to sleep. I
Okay.
really struggle to fall asleep, so I have to have my Kindle and I read for half an hour every night.
Good. Okay, so people want to know what authors are reading. So what
Yeah.
book have you read recently? Give me 2 or 3 that you would recommend.
I have been reading Hot Girl Murder Club by
Okay.
Ashley Winstead, and which is about this woman who her sister passed away in a really traumatic murder, like I think it's 10 years ago, and now she's an up and coming musician in LA, and she becomes the prime suspect in a slew of basically vigilante justice murders, and yeah, and it's really good. I haven't quite reached the end, and I don't know what else I've been reading because really it's been kind of edits and that, yeah.
I haven't read Hot Girl Murder, but I do see it all over Instagram. Lots
Yeah,
of people are reading
it's
that
getting
one.
a lot of talk. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
You know,
had
anything
some
with
big
Ashley
books.
Winstead is going to be, yeah, fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, she's had some really big books.
Yeah.
Right, so we know what you're working on. We know what you've read.
Yeah.
Is your son going to be leaving? So you're going to have just one child at home, or is he going to school
Yeah.
locally?
Yeah, so he's going to university. The university, his top choice. It's very strange how they do it here. The kids they take their end of year exams, and then at the end of August, well, the middle to the end of August, they find out their grades for the exams. And when they get their grades, then they can find out if they got into their top pick for their university choice.
Oh,
and then 2 weeks later, they're gone.
Wow.
So it's like really last minute. I know.
Oh.
So his top university choice, if he gets his grades, which I'm sure he will, is down in Southampton, and he is, yeah. So he'll be heading down there, which is about an hour and a half away. It's not too far.
That's not too bad. He can come home on the weekends easily from an hour and a half, right?
Yeah, he'll be fine.
Yeah, because it's an adjustment when they go.
Yeah.
And for the younger
for
one,
sure, and for my youngest one as well. Like it'll just be so weird, you know.
Yeah, I do. I remember when my sister went away to college.
Yeah,
it was good. I finally got my own room.
Yeah,
but it was weird, you know, because
yeah.
she was just home on the weekends and stuff, and it was like, oh, but
yeah.
It's an important
Everybody
phase
adjusts.
of life. Yeah. So, any plans to come back and visit in the U.S.? See people here?
Well, I'm hoping to come back next summer. Yeah. So we'll see, but because it is quite expensive for 4 people to fly from London to Seattle. But yeah, I'm hoping next summer to fly back and see my mom and my sisters. I have 2 younger sisters and an older brother. So yeah.
Well, maybe gas prices will come down a bit if things calm down. We'll see.
Yeah,
So
hopefully.
it's not a good time to be buying airline tickets. I'm glad I had tickets for my next trip to Maui quite some time ago, because I went on there and looked at the prices and went, what? Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, I bet they've gone up a lot.
Well, because the price of gas.
Yeah.
And
fuel.
The fluctuation. I mean, it's a whole thing, but anyway.
Yeah. So. Yeah, it is a whole thing. Yeah.
So when you you're waiting to see, you're getting edits and stuff. So when approximately might we expect another book from you? I know this one just came out, but do you think it's usually around a year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably a year.
Okay.
Possibly. I mean, it could be less. It depends on which route I end up taking, of course. Like traditional publishing can take 2 years. It can take a very long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if I use my publishing company, then it could be out in 3 months. So I have to sit down, and now that I finished writing the first draft, I have to sit down and have a think about what the next best business move is going to be.
Okay.
Yeah, and then in addition to that, my agent has a new book as well that I finished, and I am hoping, I think he's going to be going out on submission fairly soon with that. So hopefully there'll be more news on both angles.
Well,
Yeah.
watch your social media.
Yeah.
And
I'm sure I'll announce it.
Fun videos for an announcement when we've got another book to look forward to. Because you know me, I want them all. Because so far I have a perfect record with you. I've read every one of them.
Yeah. And I appreciate it.
Well, I always look forward to them. So tell folks where they can find you, because I know you're here on Instagram.
Yeah, I'm here on Instagram. And I'm on Facebook as well, Christina McDonald author. And you can always message me from my website, my author website, which is Christina-McDonald.com. And I have a contact page there. And I also, the Jess Lambert novella, I've also made free. So anybody who wants to start the Jess Lambert series right now, you can download it for free on my website.
Oh, that's a great idea. Yeah, definitely. I recommend people start with that one, because having I had read the first 2 books, and then I got the novella, I think is what I did. And I was like, oh, wow. Because it fills in so many blanks,
Yeah.
So it would be great to start from the beginning, I think, and go, in a linear fashion. But it's not necessary. And you can enjoy any of these books by themselves.
Yeah,
too.
and I wrote them all as standalones, but, Jess is the common theme. And then it does have that sort of like internal character need that is always happening in the background. So that is the through line between, each of the books in the series. But each book it can be read as a standalone for sure.
Yes. But, I know for me, I like a thriller series where if there is that through development, I like to experience that. But it's not absolutely necessary. So if people just want to start with this one, because it's such a timely topic, and this whole idea that, and the whole fake news thing is, the AI and the fake news, and people look what's going on. People will just believe all kinds of crazy.
Anything. They'll believe anything. The level of cognitive dissonance at the moment is just... Yeah.
So if you haven't heard enough of it on the news and you want to read a fictional story about it, this is a great one where it's explored from the perspective of the victim. Yeah,
in a thriller format. So it should be like quite speedy, twisty, hopefully dark, and also emotional.
Oh yeah, I read it really well. I read all your books really fast, but this one especially, because I was like, oh my gosh, how's she going to get out of it? All right, well, listen, I'm going to let you go. I know it's late there. What is it, 8 hours difference?
Yeah, so it's 9 o'clock,
Oh, okay.
8 hours difference,
Yeah. Well, it's great talking with you. After all these years of interacting and actually hearing a voice and seeing your face, it's been wonderful. And thank you so much for doing this.
What an honor. I really, really appreciate you and just chatting to me. And thank you for having me here.
Well, I love it. It's a treat for me, because I just love authors. And like I tell people, I'm retired. I don't have to worry about earning a living. So let me sell some books for you. I'm a free
we appreciate it.
All right. Well, you have a good rest of your weekend.
You too. Thank you so much. Thanks, Janie.
Bye-bye.
Bye.